What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review podcast, man. I got a very special guest today, man. This is my boy, dude. I've known this dude for like, 20 years now?
Wow.
Something like that, man. This is Rob to Live from Will to Live fame. He's got a couple other projects we're going to talk about, but this is a Texas hardcore legend right here, man. This is the longest running hardcore band I could think of, dude. Especially something local. But without you, I wouldn't know a lot about what I know. So, been friends with this guy for a very, very long time. Just put out a new album. As a matter of fact, I was talking about it on the stream last night. We played a couple of Will to Live songs last night on the live stream. Yeah, but this is their new record. Yeah, dude. Therapy Sessions, man. I got one of each color because I'm a nerd and I love to collect stuff. But actually,
it's because you're awesome. You got to.
Let's go. Awesome. Let's go. I bought 2 copies of the black one, thinking it was the one because you got me, man. I thought it was the one that was like the high print number. And I was like, oh, I'll put it in the store. And then I ran into Drew, like drummer Drew, and he was freaking out that y'all had a new record. So I gave him that second copy because that's the homie too. So
nice.
But welcome to the channel, Mr. Rob. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. Just doing the damn thing, man. Working, trying to stay as productive as I can, man. I mean, I think it sounds cheesy, but it's like a lot of life changed after COVID, and me personally, work wise, it turned to a very rough situation. We're on a family company, and especially being oil and gas, man, it's something else, man. What happened with freights and everything, and being a small family owned company, it wasn't easy, but it was one of those situations where if you can make it out of that, boy, you got it made wherever you want to go after that.
I agree. I can tell you, I lost my whole ass comic book shop to this stuff. I know. Oof. It's tough. It is what it is. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be right now, so I don't hold any grudges to any kind of nothing. But boy, it was scary for a while. It was very, very scary. And
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think hold on, dude. I'm messing with these backdrops.
Oh, you're fine. Let's go. Come on, brick wall. There we go. Suburban home.
This is gonna make me look weird.
It's all good.
But that's actually my suburban home. Hey, that's crazy. Go. It shows so much of it. That's this is what my wife does her. See all the waxes.
It's actually not showing a lot of it. It's because I have it cropped down to 2 screens. It'll be all right.
Good, man.
Well, but, we had a baby during COVID, bro. October 1st, 2020. So that was
congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, he's a full-grown 2.5-year-old baby at this point. But man, I'm telling you, I almost missed his birth because of all the crazy protocols and stuff. And I'm like running through the hospital. I had like 6 bracelets on. I'm like, you know who I am. I've been here 7 times. And they're like, we got to stop you and take your temp. I'm like, I went outside to answer a phone call. All right, whatever. It was wild, man, because we already had 2 kids. But let's talk about some more uplifting, topics. Let's talk about some music stuff. First off,
well,
I was to say, how was doing the new record, the new Will to Live record? How'd that all come about? How did you?
Well, I mean, I mentioned COVID because so the challenge was, how do we do, obviously this sucked, and we lost some people, including
yes.
I lost my nephew, my uncle during COVID.
Good grief.
One from COVID reasons and the other from, you already know what's happening with the youth these days, man. If you're in a certain age bracket, that's usually what gets you. We at the time we had set out, okay, so this is a new chance. I myself, being a big guy, I was concerned that I would be that I was at risk, right? Very at risk.
Yeah.
And actually, we both ended up getting COVID, my wife and I. Not the decaf COVID. I mean, I'm talking about like the real deal. My wife got real sick.
Me too.
She probably should have gone to the hospital to get put
Dude,
on
I
vent.
tried to go. I had 104 fever for 4 days, March 2021. I had it for about 2 months, and I called. They wouldn't even let me come into the ER. It was crazy, bro. This was the most
Dude,
insane couple of years I've ever experienced.
it's nuts, man. So, but I didn't get sick. I mean, I got sick, but I mean, my symptoms
Yeah,
were I lost the, like if we got sick she got sick on a Wednesday, I got sick like on a Friday. Come Monday, I had no symptoms. I had body aches for one night.
crazy.
Nose and taste went from like Wednesday. I got it back Friday. So
We had it flip flop. That's exactly what my wife was dealing with when I had it real bad.
It flew right by me, man. So
Crazy.
I was like, okay, so look, here's a new. This is a time for renewal. I mean, it's just what it is, man. I mean, I've sang about it so much. You can't change what's coming your way, just the way you face it. And
Facts.
I always preached about that. And here's the deal: when the shit hits the fan, where there's just lyrics that sounded cool, or do you live it? So, we ironically it was those two projects were taken off at the same time, and it was like, okay, it's a time to. What I want to do is I want to make sure I can do a new Will to Live record. And how do we do something different than what I've done before? And Randy,
that's a tall task.
It is, because
you've done a lot of stuff, man.
Yes, but think of this, I mean, I've never fronted that my life has been so difficult, and this is in spite of the stuff I lived and saw in the war in El Salvador. But I've never fronted that I had this tough childhood, that it was rough, and that shaped me into being this hard ass, because my life was very fortunate, man. Like like I was born to two very loving parents that to this day are married, and were always a very good example to me in how to conduct myself, and what you see, what you interact with, the person you interact with is certainly shaped by my own experiences, but I would say that the bulk of the example came from them. So not having that, it's like, well, I know that there's a lot of folks that are still dealing with stuff now in their 20s, 30s, 40s, later, even later in life, that stems from what happened to them when they were kids.
Absolutely.
And okay, so here's the idea. Why don't I do something that is, here's the challenge. The challenge is, how about I don't talk about myself or about a character that is like made up. Let's talk about real people and tell stories like from a third person's perspective. Let me be the storyteller of somebody that I will talk to and interview. And so I set out to, it sounds horrible, but I selected a few folks that in passing or in some kind of way and online, I'd seen them post about something they're dealing with. And it's like, okay, well, it sounds like this person may be dealing with this. Okay, well, let me go ahead and reach out, and for the most part of the people that I know, hell, some people, and, okay, so let me zero in on this. Okay, so this guy is dealing with PTSD stemming from deployment, and then everything else that comes along with it, dealing with it, trying to get it solved through the proper channels, and how it ends up being less than desirably addressed in this super powerful country.
Well, they don't seem to care a lot about the veterans.
Well, I mean, I always tell you, and I don't like to talk about politics, but this is about flesh and bone people from the hardcore scene that have have served, have come back different people,
Yeah.
completely changed, or with afflictions that they didn't have before. And I've made it a point that this wouldn't be some, I guess that's how it is. No, I'm going to interview people.
Yeah.
And go through into detail. Like, I mean, tell me how this is like, like, I mean, is it like some people claim that in the VA you can't get the services you need? And, because I don't know. I'm ignorant. So give me the real scoop so that I can speak, so that I can tell you a story when I'm on the microphone, and so that when I'm delivering it, I could give it my heart and soul.
That's a good way to come up with some lyrics. That's a
So
beautiful way to tell a story.
So it was, man, and the consensus within the veterans I spoke with was that the resources are there. It's just that they're so hard to grasp, or so hard to get to them, that a lot of folks just end up saying "fuck it," like,
Well,
just, I don't have time for that shit. And
my
it's
dad
like,
was a 16-year Army vet, got out hurt, and for the rest of his life, anything he had to do, that it was covered, but he had to go to the VA hospital. It was very far, very out of the way. And I'm telling you, dude, if it was something that was urgent, he was probably out of luck, man. He had to go to an ER because they weren't going to see him for like 10, 12, 14 hours. And it's not like they were doing it on purpose, the people that worked there, but it just wasn't set up. It wasn't set up for a successful, venture. They weren't set up for success. They were set up for disaster almost,
And these are more like tangible problems. I mean, imagine mental health stuff that has been so tabooed for so long,
Right.
especially because men don't cry, and because you don't show your emotions, or because the people that are paternalistic, like, oh, women, of course they have mental health issues, and this and that. And it's like, no, bro, this cuts a lot deeper than that.
We all have stuff that we need help with.
We all do, and it's been such a stigma, and you have bands that may write a song about it because they lost a homie to suicide, or because they lost a homie to an overdose. But it's like, that's not good enough. For me, right, when I was coming up with the idea, and after a couple of people that are very dear to the scene passed away, actually, and I'm gonna put them on blast, because it's not on blast in a bad way. I'm actually giving them the credit for being a catalyst, man. We were having like a group chat between friends that are and actually, well, friends from years ago, from the scene, and it was actually Ryan Taylor that actually.
That's my dog.
Ryan said, I mean, we're all talking here, but we need to do something. And Ryan put me on blast and said, Rob, man, we're looking at you. You're the godfather. You need to do something. And it's like, I was like, no, I've already been thinking about doing this. So that was a catalyst that said, no, fuck it. The entire album needs to be 100% about mental health. And then it was, okay, not just as we started, man, I've been blessed to have done this, and every Will to Live lineup has been special for its own reasons.
Sure.
Right? The Will to Live with Jose, the Will to Live with Scott in its many incarnations, the Will to Live with Michael Crumpler, everybody's with the Will to Live with Gabe playing bass.
So many names, bro.
Everybody had everybody has a special place in my heart, but I would say that I'm blessed to have Daniel Alba from the Almighty Die Young as Will to Live's guitarist since 2010, and
really that long? I didn't know it's been that long.
I guess
so, yeah.
But then about 10 years ago, I had my son, and it was time for me to disengage a little bit more and
Yeah.
be there for them, for him and with him, right? And it wasn't until a few years later, now that he's a little older and can do for himself better, that I can devote my time a little more to all these other things that I love to do. And so I'll get to it eventually, but out of COVID, I was like, no, man, I got all this shit I want to do, all these things I want to do now. And one of the things that popped up in the middle of all of it was True Intentions, which was my other band. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But for the Will to Live record, interviews with 7 different people who are survivors of mental health. And like I say in some of the liners, some are doing awesome, and some are still, dealing with it. And through therapy,
it's a lifetime of struggle for some, for a lot.
It is. And well, I mean, like, oh my God, I had anxiety and I was having this test and man, it was fucked up. No, bro, if you have anxiety, that shit, I'm sorry to tell you, but once you get it once, that shit will never fucking leave. And what you do is you learn to see it come. You learn how to grab it and how to sit your ass down.
Bro, so like a couple of weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I was at work and I part-time bartend at Alamo Draft House, and I was moving. I just bought a place out here in Magnolia, and like we were moving, and I was dealing with some really bad stuff at work, and I was also dealing with just stresses of my other, career choices, and it was just a lot of stress on me. And I was closing the bar, and I was walking back to where we have this like group station of computers where you can put orders in and such for like the wait staff. And that's where I had to go get the manager to let me know I could leave. And I'm walking back there, and I'm 41, so I'm not a kid anymore. So I usually can go, hey, I'm done. They go, yeah, you're good. So I'm walking back there, and I just stop. I'm looking at my buddy Mike, and he's like, hey, you okay? I said, yeah, man, I'm good. And then I went, and I couldn't take a breath. And
Anxiety.
I almost, yeah, bro. So I thought I was like bloated or something. Started taking medicine for that. I finally get a doctor's appointment. They go in, they're like, your lungs are good, your heart's strong. You need to go get an x-ray just to make sure that it is what we think it is. Get a chest x-ray. They're like, dude, you're good. You have anxiety issues. And I was like, oh no.
Then like, oh my God, your heart's strong as an ox. Your breathing resistance test is great. Did you just get a new job? No.
Right? They were like,
do you have a lot of debt? Did you just get a pay cut? Did you just buy a new house? Did you just move? How do you know?
Yeah,
well,
right?
You have anxiety. Congratulations, you have anxiety. And it's like, so what do I do? Well, we can put you on medications, or you can do this. And it's like, for me, it's like, no, bro, that's the Band-Aid, and I'm not opposed to medications to curb symptoms so that you can get the proper help. But it's the therapy. The therapy is the only thing that's gonna work through these irrational thought patterns, which is what they are. I mean, like, the first time I had therapy, it's hilarious because, I mean, I went to school for the shit, and so it's like, oh yeah, that's right. This is cognitive behavioral therapy is about challenging these irrational thought patterns. So you have this fleeting sensation of this fear of something that you can't properly explain, but it's like, so ask yourself the question, if you're feeling that fear, so ask yourself, where's the bear? Where's the lion that's chasing after you? And it's like, oh, there's no lion. So then why the fuck are you freaking out like there is? And like, I mean, you become the best. You become Steven Spielberg, or what is it? Or you become A24 Studios with
come on, A24
with what is it?
Like Hereditary and Midsummer.
Throw me some horror directors and
dude, like Robert Eggers and dude. So we're just talking about him. Carpenter. We got Carpenter.
So you become all of them wrapped into one, and you're better than all of them directing your worst horror movie that will probably never happen. You know what I mean? And that's that anxiety. But so.
Well, you definitely come up with things in your own head, and you start worrying about stuff that is. You make mountains out of molehills. We've heard that saying our whole life.
And in Spanish, the version of that mountains out of molehills is, you choose to drown in a cup of water.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a cup of water, dude.
Yeah.
So So, man, I had interviews for months with several of these folks because it is such an important thing, man, that I always thought, man, I don't want this person to fucking read the lyrics and say that piece of shit took poetic license with my situation. Or but then it's like, well, I do have the power to say, well, no, thank you for helping me. I want to tell your story, but in with the exception of one character, the song "I Am," which is about somebody that survived a rape, a sexual
Okay.
attack. That's about a girl, and I'm clear that it's about a girl in the song. But all the other ones, like "Resolute," which is about marital abuse, spousal abuse,
Ugh.
it's it's genderless because it can happen to a guy it happens to more women perhaps, or is reported
Yes,
more in
but
women, but
no,
it
it
can
happens to
happen
more
to
women, but
it can happen to it can happen to a guy, and in
absolutely.
this case it was the people that were interviewed were one was a guy that was for all intended purposes emotionally battered
Ugh.
by his spouse, and they're not together anymore. And a woman,
Well,
and
verbal abuse could be as bad as physical abuse. Some would say it's even worse. I tend to think
once
it's not
you
worse, but
once
verbal
you
abuse is very
internalize it,
bad.
once you internalize it, bro, it's it's no longer what he or she said. It's what you have accepted you are,
It turns you into that exact
and
thing. You start to see it in yourself, and
and
that's why it's so
be-
terrible.
because in those type of situations when people are arguing at those levels, where people are exerting their sadist abuse, they're reaching to the very little tiny details that they know of your existence, to so that it resonates and so that it really hurts. And that's the opening line for that song. Garbage was never my name, but that's how you made me feel.
Mm,
you know and
yes.
and then there's a song about let's talk about something different, and I have no problem with songs about friendship and about betrayals and all that, but
Yeah.
that's so basic of hardcore. So
Well, when
why
I
don't we
saw the
talk?
title of the album, we went from stuff like Tested and True, which is, again, fantastic record, to the therapy sessions, where you can tell just based on the color of the album and the title that it's a whole different ball game that you're bringing to the table this time. I
how,
was very
how do
happy
we
to
talk?
see it.
Let's talk about, how about we talk about the effects of growing up in a cult. And
I mean,
a cult that is think about a cult that is separatist, that tries to live outside of mainstream society, and is fundamentalist cults, right? And this is and there's no slight to any of them. In particular, it's just, I'm talking about my friend,
yeah,
and what happened to him and his family, and the effect of his family being involved in that, which led this person to a life of you know having challenges with his self-worth,
mm,
um and and then you join a hardcore band, and then you start singing for a hardcore band, and hang around with all the other miscreants that we know, that also
yeah,
have their own fucking issues, and you end up in a roller coaster of you know
yeah,
drugs, alcohol, and
bro.
dependency. It's just to suit the hurt. And in that story has such a fucking, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because the arch of the story is I interviewed my friend because he was in a podcast talking about it, and I was like, man, like in the shower, I was like, so what to do with that song number we were actually affectionately called it True Hero Part 2.
Okay.
And Conflict used to say, "Oh yeah, man, make this True Hero Part 2, and this is where the true hero finally dies in a glorious battle." And I'm
Come
like,
on
"No,
now.
dude." And I'm like, "No, dude. This is, I already told you this needs to be serious and deep." So, and I don't know what to do. And when I heard it, I was like, I heard him talking about how this played out in his childhood, and then at the end, how he kind of he was obviously ostracized because he left the cult, and his mother stayed in that cult.
Mm.
And then
Dude, that happens a lot, though. It happens a lot.
But then at the very end, and then the effect of seeing his father being ostracized, and it's like, bro, your whole life, all you know is that cult and that
Right.
baker and that banker and that this. It's like a little. It's set up so that you can't fend outside of there.
Yeah. No, they make it incredibly hard to survive outside of the cult. It's a scary lifestyle.
So then, in the end, in the darkest of addiction and all that, it was his mother that rescued him out of that.
Oh wow.
That's why when you read the lyrics to that song in particular, it's I mean, I'm over the moon about the lyrics, the content of the lyrics, because some of them just happened, like after all these interviews with these people, the lyrics just came to be, and I touched a little bit.
Regardless of topic, I've always enjoyed your lyrics. I mean, you've always been very, very good at writing lyrics and taking whatever it is that you want to say and being able to portray that in a way that is memorable and is catchy. It may sound like a bad thing, but it needs to be catchy if you want it to stick in people's heads. And so you've always been able to write stuff that was, that mold.
My wife, who is my better half and the smartest one in the house, she always
too.
She would always tell me, man, no, you're making them too brainy. Like not just like in particular with the lyrics for All Habits Die Hard. The previous album. She's like, no, you're like, not everybody wants to go to philosophy class, dude. Just bring it back down to earth. People want to relate. And I was like,
yeah,
man, like when I was writing some of these lyrics, I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. I can only imagine. Like, I mean, I know almost every girl I know, if they haven't lived through a sexual assault, they've had close calls.
Yeah,
one has had a close call, in a small room, and it's like,
that's terrible.
It's such
people are awful.
It's such a cool thing that this particular chick, man, I mean, just made herself out of steel out of the situation, man, and that's why the whole thing closes with, now you be careful. I'm the weapon now. It's so empowering, dude. And I know there's more chicks involved in hardcore now, man. I mean,
there's
I hope
a lot of women in hardcore right now.
Well, I hope that more than one reads it and says, "Fuck yeah," and that. Well, and that the guys can read it too and say, "Well, fuck, dude, that's pretty fucking awesome." So that's like almost like a freaking breakdown of almost every song in there. But man, going back to what I said about Daniel, workhorse, as you know from his his reputation precedes him with that young
man.
It's like Daniel and I are the fucking what is it, the what's that little locomotive that doesn't stop, or the little engine that could, the other engine that could. It's like, dude, that's a motherfucker that just can't fucking quit.
Dude, ever since I've known him for almost as long as I've known you. He's never been chilling.
Still?
Yeah, he's always doing good stuff for, like, is vegan or is he vegetarian? Vegan. Yeah, vegan, straight edge, bands, shows, touring, side projects, and he's always stopped and said hello too. Like, it's crazy, man. He'll stop and say hi and hang out for a minute. He's got all this stuff going on, dude. Daniel's awesome, man.
He's a fucking gift to this world.
Yes.
He really is, because I mean, I'm telling you, at least in my experience with him, man, I've met so many people in 46 years, almost 47, and very few people can be as self-serving in the good things that they do as Daniel. Hell, fucking he even wrote a plan, like a professional. He has a lot to do with bodybuilding and nutrition. He even took it upon himself to say, what do we need to do to help you with your nutrition?
That's awesome.
And thank God we've been sticking to it, and
yeah,
and the weight is just dropping. I mean, I know it may not look like it, but it's dropping considerably.
I'm in the same journey right now.
And it's pretty awesome, because he really knows what he's talking about. And once again, dude, he didn't have to do that.
No, he loves you though, man.
Exactly. He's a good friend that loves me, and it's great to have had him to work, because we were just going in as he stayed out of the lyrics, but with the music he went to town. Him and Mike Fury did the bulk.
Mike Fury.
They did the bulk of the writing, man. Conflict threw in some pretty nasty, awesome riffs too. But and Eric Gibson's such a fucking wizard with the bass.
Yeah.
And his bass fucking comes through so thick in this production, dude. That I'm
happy.
That
sounds great, dude. I really enjoyed it.
Dude, I mean, I'll keep you for 2 hours telling you about it, man, because
I've played that record on my channel like 3 times, dude. Like, I'm not kidding. I love that album. It's like an EP, whatever.
We recorded with a guy that prefers to be uncredited, and I'm like, why, dude? Why?
No, that's crazy.
It's a young guy, dude. It's like he's only like 30 or 31, and
that's
man,
wild.
he put me through the gauntlet. With the vocals, and I think that the only reason the vocals sound so good is because he grilled me, dude.
That's awesome, though.
And
the outcome is pretty nice.
Well,
so
I pitched him what I wanted to do, and he goes, "No, motherfucker, if you want this shit to make the passion come through, if you want all this, we'll go do some work, dude. This is not gonna be a yes sir. There's no yes sir sessions here."
Okay, I like it.
It was man, there's days that I left, like there's that specific song about the cult. That's track 4. I left. I had a migraine for like I had a migraine for like 2 days.
Dude, migraines are no good.
That's from that session, from that vocal session, dude. And so going back,
the presentation is freaking beautiful, by the way, man.
So everything had to tie together. Are you familiar with kintsugi? You know what that is?
I am not.
So you ever seen like Japanese pottery that has cracked and they put it back together, and instead of like making it seem like we do here in the West, like, oh shit, it's broken, it's expensive, we don't want anybody to know we put that shit back together with crazy glue.
Okay.
In Japan, and not everyone in Japan, but I mean, in this particular, people that observe this philosophy, they will actually mix gold powder or silver powder in the epoxy so you can see where it was cracked and where it's been put back together, because just because something has been broken.
This is awesome.
Just because something has been broken, it doesn't mean it's lost its usefulness. And the same applies to people. And we're not gonna hide these cracks.
Come on, folks, look at this artwork.
We're not gonna hide these cracks. We're gonna highlight the cracks, right? And so we're boarding dark, like a dark subject matter. So it's just a dark palette, which was the challenge, man, because the lady that's an actual painting, dude.
Yeah, it looks like an actual painting.
Painted. I got it somewhere on here, dude. I will go bring it in a minute. But the artist, man, like when Daniel showed her to me, I was like, fuck, man, she she uses a lot of paint, a lot of like lively colors, and she
Dude, it
captures the
looks
faces so
very
well.
what's the word? Looks like you touch it. Looks like you like even on the LP, man. It's
Well, it's got texture.
that's the word I'm looking for. It's got a lot of texture.
Yeah, no, it had to, because we wanted to be able to use like if you look at when we did the video, the lyric video for the second song, Cold Embrace,
Mm-hmm.
that one, Daniel specifically grabbed, like, he cropped into like corners wherever you could see all that texture, and he used that as the background for that.
Okay.
But dude, no, dude, I mean, it was from concept to us me kind of sketching things, and even my teacher, my old painting instructor in El Salvador, Don Roberto Hueso, I didn't talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, just find something you like, and we can license something to you." And just nothing really got that emotional charge that I was looking for, man. And so
Yeah.
we did it with PJ, this lady, and she killed it, dude. I mean, it's like exactly what I wanted. At first, she had done one that kind of looked like it had its hand on the scar, and it looked a little too much like Combat Kid. So
Dude, Comeback Kid's
I was
awesome.
like, but I was like, yeah, no, let's change it a little bit, dude. And I don't want to face. I don't want to face, because I want a female or a male to be able to identify to it,
Yeah.
right? So that's the Will to Live record, man, and I'm incredibly proud of it. And I think specifically songs like Before You Go, which is track 5. I mean, that's, if somebody is in a bad spot and they're in that mindset already that they're ready to check out, if you go tell them, hey, fuck, think about your family, think about your kids, think about this, motherfucker, you think they haven't thought about all that before they got there?
Right.
Like you're fucking insulting them, and oh, well, that's nothing, a breakup, you get over it. Maybe
Not everybody heals the same way, man. Not
not
everybody
everybody
heals.
heals. Not everybody heals. Not everybody has the same way. Not everybody has the same weapons to
Hmm.
face life.
Hmm.
So understanding that was a challenge for me growing up, because
Yeah.
again, we go back to what I said. I had a very privileged childhood and upbringing. I did. So it's like, oh
That's
well,
nothing to be ashamed of, though.
no, 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 no. I'm by no means. I want to apologize for what I was born in and the situation I was born in. I'm just saying. I'm just explaining to you why it was a challenge for me to understand. Because I was
Yeah.
like, well, fuck, you fall, you get up and brush the dirt off, like GB said, and move on. And people, if you're broke, well, go to work, and you won't be broke. And it's a lot more. That's a very unfair statement. It's a little more complex than that.
Yeah. It's a lot of gray area in that black and white
It's
statement.
a lot. If the world was black and white like that, it'd be cool.
It'd
But
be
it's
easier to navigate, man.
it would be easier to navigate. But so that song is about what do you actually say to somebody that is in that mindset, that isn't what people in the West we're so we fear death so much that it's like a boogeyman, and we avoid it so much that when it happens, or when a situation's coming up that may lead to that, we don't fucking know what to say, and we say the dumbest fucking shit, like, oh, I'm sorry, your spouse just died, your child just died. Oh, well, he's in a better place now. Or, oh, you'll get over it.
Yeah.
You get over it
Dude.
soon, like, and like, why don't we go have a drink? And it's like,
Mm.
motherfucker, like, that is the dumbest shit you can say. Or oh, so you're thinking about checking out. Well, don't do that. Life's gonna get better. And shit like that. So what do you actually
That the
say? It's like,
person
hey,
that has
man,
said that has never dealt with depression. All right. I don't personally deal with it, but my wife does.
Yeah.
And so I can tell you that life just gets better is not the correct response, because you don't know that, because they aren't feeling the same way that you are feeling about almost anything. So, a good news to you, a raise at work, or whatever, a new car, or whatever silly thing that makes you really happy, they look at that and they think, not worth anything. It doesn't bring me any joy, because it's a chemical imbalance, and sometimes, and it's
sometimes it's simple anhedonia. The inability to feel pleasure for things that normally bring people pleasure, man,
right.
and or even worse. I mean, it becomes such a man. It just goes on and on. Where, oh my god, like I should be happy, so I'm fucking terrible because I'm not happy
Well,
about
it's
it,
got to be
and it just keeps
confusing.
going and going and going.
Can you imagine having that to deal with every day, where you're like, okay, I know I'm successful, quote unquote, in life. I've got my bills paid. I've got the house. I've got the family. Why do I wake up and feel unfulfilled and worthless all the time? I mean, how do
Yeah,
you even? This is
yeah.
why yeah, man, you got to be
This was
patient with folks that are.
that was growing up for me, was understanding growing up for me in my 30s, and that's what I call growing up, is understanding um that not everybody can just brush it off,
Yeah,
and that there are sometimes things that are happen and set other things in motion at a childhood. Like, listen to that second track, Cold Embrace, dude. I mean, again, that's about a very successful person, a person that was set to be very successful, and second generation immigrant, gifted in every possible sense, and the parents just fucking twisted that. They tightened that string so much that it broke.
ugh.
And then it's once again, man, I'm very proud of what we did there. I'm very proud of
You
how it
should
looked.
be. You
And,
absolutely
and
should be.
and you know what, man? It's a love letter to my friends, a love letter to anybody that wants to listen to it, because it is. I don't, I'm 40. I'm almost 47, man, and I have no intentions of quitting my life and going on the road full time, and
Yeah,
doing all this stuff that I may have wanted to do when I was younger. But this is something I needed to do, and I of course do want to show it to everyone I can, because I think it's important, and I think it may, if I may be so um what's the word I'm looking for? It can be, if I could be super presumptuous, it may be something that someone reads and says, "Fuck, man, I really need to, I really need to think this through before I do something bad to myself, to my friends, to my family."
yeah.
And then it's um, and that's
That's
kind of what happened with the therapy sessions, bro. And
that's the beauty of music.
and
That's what it
that's
does for people. You know.
and that's a great chapter, man. But so I was already like one or two songs deep into therapy sessions, and somebody we lost during COVID, Scott, reached out to me, Scott Smith, Will
Yeah.
to Live's original guitarist, and he told me, "Hey, man, my stepson, man, you really need to check him out, man. This kid, Christian, man, he could really, really play some drums, dude. That you had, let me send you something on email." And so he sent me like 3 tracks, I believe, 2 tracks actually. And I was like, "Oh shit, man, this is good. This is like traditional sounding, like hardcore, kind of like Sick of It All meets Integrity or something like that." And
Let's go.
I was like, "Man, this is good, dude. I'm happy for him, man." And he's like, "Yeah, man, he's jamming with this dude from New Zealand named Reese." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And he said, "Yeah, man, and they need a vocalist. You should do something. I think it's just gonna be like a studio album, like an EP or a demo." And I was like, "Well, who's this guy, Reese? Get me his number, and I want to know what he's about, what he wants to do, and we'll go from there. And man, we had a conversation for like an hour. And after that, I was like, we will do this record. And it is going to be, again, a love letter to hardcore and to, the music that just made your heart jump when you were 13, 14.
That's the
And
stuff.
that's what you hear when you hear True Intentions. Point of Origin is, I wanted to go as far back as I could remember and pay homage to that. That true point. Point of Origin is my thank you to Sick of It All, and it was so cool to be able to jam with them last year and tell them that when you hear this song, this is about you guys, man. This is about me going to see Sepultura, Sacred
Let's
Ride,
go.
Napalm Death, and Sick of It All in 1991 in Miami. And
that's a ridiculous lineup, bro.
And it was called the new. This show was called New Titans on the Block, and I was
appropriate title.
I think I was 13, dude. It was August 9th, 1991. I was about to turn. No, dude, I was about to turn 13, and
flies by like that.
It was in Driscoll Avenue in Miami Beach, and I remember my parents dropped me off, and you're 13. You think about a 13-year-old metalhead kid now, with my fucking Metallica shirt, my Shortest Straw shirt, like Mulatino going on back when.
Let's go.
It's like, like Long Hair in Progress, but I hadn't made it that far. And just think about when you were 13 and it's kind of different because you're younger than me too, but like in 1992, man, like to walk into a place that's full of fucking tattooed people when you didn't see a goddamn tattoo outside of a tattoo parlor or
back in the 90s, that stuff was still scary.
It was like back in the day, if you saw fucking, now it's like, I got my first tattoo, man. I got a fucking neck piece and my hand's done, and it's like,
bro, it's so aggravating.
I mean, like
that part of the culture.
Well, just imagine 1991, and I'm in there, and it's like, first thing I see is like all these fucking people that are huge. Like it looked like, what it looked like? It was I looked like I was among wrestlers.
Let's go. Like professional wrestlers?
Some Legion of Doom looking motherfuckers in there.
Come on, Legion of Doom. Let's go.
And I'm like, fuck, dude. And these people have tattoos, and like this motherfucker had like all this fucking piercings. And this is 1991, dude. And I'm like 13, fucking suburban punk. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, dude. And I'm just kind of looking around, looking 100% brand new. And this fucking guy just walks up to me and fucking just kind of starts shooting the shit, man. Hey, what's going on, man? And I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? And it's like, yeah, man. Like, just I don't remember the specifics of the conversation besides, the fact that it was like, yeah, man, it's cool. People come in and fucking go crazy. And I'm like, yeah, the mosh pit, right? Because I had been to arena. I had been to like arena shows and a couple of backyard parties, but I had never been to like a show like this,
like a DIY punk show or something, hardcore show.
This was a big production, but it was an underground show. It was a proper underground show. So, it was a place probably. That place was bigger than. Nah, dude, it was kind of like it was bigger than Fitz for sure.
This is a pretty big place.
I'll try to think about. No. It was bigger than that, dude. I'm trying to think of this venue. Maybe the engine room, dude. A little smaller than the engine room, maybe.
Engine room. We had a lot of wild times at the engine room.
But so, this guy's telling me, yeah, man, people just come in and fucking dance and have a good time, and I'm like, all right, well, cool. And it's like, yeah, man, it's gonna be fine, dude. And I'm like, yeah, man, awesome, man, thank you. And then he's like, hey, man, I gotta go on stage, man. I'll talk to you later. And I was like, what? And I'm like, oh, that was weird. And then like within a few seconds, you start hearing the cymbal crashes and fucking, hey, Miami, you know what time it is? It's glovering time. Da-na-na-na.
Let's go.
So that was Lou from Sick of It All. I had no fucking clue. Because
dude, I was wondering where that was going, dude. Let's go.
Remember my boy Tito from Miami that I told you about?
Yes.
The guy that got me the mixtape, he had
Yeah.
made a tape that had it had Blood, Sweat, and No Tears, but then he had also gotten me the We Stand Alone EP.
Let's go.
So I thought the fucking Sick of It All was this fucking huge Legion of Doom character, and instead it was, slender guy with
Right.
with like shortly cropped flat top and a little
Blonde. It was
tail.
bleach blonde. Yeah.
No, it was black, but he had
It
this
was
little
black.
tail and shit back here, little what is people used to call it, rat tail.
Oh,
And
I
I was
used to have a rat tail. My wife hated it.
I thought it was a guy that worked there at the venue, and I was like, no way. I thought this guy with that voice he has,
He
he's got to
projects very well. He
be this
sounds like a
fucking
big ass
monster.
dude.
So, that song Point of Origin is if you read the lyrics, it tells you that the story that I just gave you.
We're currently
like
talking about True Intentions, correct?
Yeah, we moved from Will to Live to True Intentions.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I thought. Because I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about that. Like, how'd you link up with Johnny and then? Hey, okay, I feel like I missed something. How did that band come about?
Well, that's what I was saying. Is that Scott?
Okay. That's what I thought you were. Okay.
So Scott,
making sure I'm on the same page.
Scott told me to check out what his stepson was doing,
and that's who that was. Okay, I almost wanted to stop you and ask, but I didn't want to be rude.
With Reese, and Reese played in Roger Miranda Disasters.
Yeah.
Right. And also in Roger Miranda Disasters, in its first incarnations, included Johnny Ryu.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Johnny and Reese have worked together in the past, and by fate or destiny, Johnny lives in Texas now.
Yep.
And so does Reese. And so, he showed, I had a conversation with Reese, and I was like, fucking, I'm about this, dude. How many songs do you have? Okay, let's do this, dude. I'm down to do this. And how many songs? Maybe like 6. And we ended up doing 8. And he said, he just told me one day from one day to the next, oh yeah, and Johnny Rio, and I'm like, I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. He goes, oh yeah, he's gonna be playing bass. And I was like,
nice.
Oh, okay. So and that led into this conversation. Was like, hey man, I just want to make sure you have the right expectations, dude. I'm a fucking hardcore vocalist, and I'm like, I don't have a singing voice. I don't have a melodic voice. I can't do melodies. And he's like, shh, just be you and sing like you sing.
Okay.
And if you're going to do any melodies, we'll take care of it.
That's the way to do it, though.
And that's how that was, man. That's what led to True Intentions. And, obviously Johnny has his projects going on too. Life continues. COVID did a lot for a lot of folks, or to a lot of folks. And, it so happens that he had some really good friends that were looking to do something new. And that's what's led to the new project that he's doing now called The Defiant, which is fucking amazing. Bro. And I was so looking forward to it because, I'm like a fucking huge Dickie Barrett fan. And
love Dickie Barrett, man.
No, man. I mean, I was happy to see Boston blow up the way they did, but I remember them like way before that, dude. I remember them when they were when did I fucking first hear the Bostons, dude? No, it was with the Devil's Night Out. It was with Devil's Night Out. That I think
mine was Ska Core, The Devil and More. I can't remember, but it was before 1994. It was like my first ska band I ever heard was them.
I think they had like two records out, so that would be Don't Know How to Party or what came after Devil's Night Out. But anyway,
I'm so happy that you know Boston's records, bro.
I always loved
so much.
I always loved them, dude, and it's like his voice is just so unmistakable.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's doing that, and I'm promoting Will to Live right now because it's what's fresh and what I need to get out.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, Reese is the guitarist from True Intentions. He's a writing machine, dude. He's got like 50 songs. already written for a follow up,
Good
and we have
grief.
we have like 2 songs already put together for the new release. But we're not in a rush to get anything done.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's got their hands busy with something right now, and like I said, Johnny's got that in his hands right now, and I hope that it does real well for him, man. He
Yeah.
deserves it, and all those guys in that band deserve it, and um True Intentions will be around, will come back, but like I said, right now other things have priority. I have this other thing going on too. This is project number 3. Again, all of these were
Because you're not already you're not bored or anything, are you?
hell no. Hell no, dude. I mean, the other project is okay. So there's think about what I told you first. Metallica, right?
Yeah.
Thrash.
Oh,
And
you've always been a metal guy.
so I came to heart. I know the Godfather, one of the Godfathers, Roger Ramirez, said never what is it? Never trust a hardcore kid that didn't come through punk or something to that end. But hey, man, I came through metal, and I love it. It's been the greatest ride to be involved in hardcore. But man, before everything, my first love was thrash, dude. Straight up, in particular, Bay Area, California Bay Area thrash, is kind of where my first love was, man. So we always wanted to include more thrash into Will to Live. And it wasn't Floating Scott's boat or anybody else that came after him.
Man, I think that would be an interesting mixture of people, personally.
I was like, let's go ahead and put that in the shelf for another time. And so here's another time. I was like, man, I'm just gonna fucking put together a project that is like a metal project, straight metal. And it was gonna be a death metal project at first, kind of like Old Entombed.
Okay.
And I tried to do it with my buddy from the band Deep from the 90s here in Houston. It was
nice.
My buddy Jerome, and I was like, "Bro, let's do this fucking thing, and let's call it the Way of Pain," and just fucking some hard ass fucking
that's a good name
metal shit. And then we did a demo, except he sang on it, and I was like, "What am I gonna do to this, dude? Fuck it up? This sounds amazing as it is." And then we just never did anything with it. So, dude, I'll send you one of those songs later.
Dude, yeah, hell yeah.
It's sounded mean as fuck, dude. And
that's awesome.
I was like, dude, with my fucking mid-range voice compared to that low-ass badass voice you're doing, dude. No, leave it alone, dude. Let's just shelve that for now and pick it up at another time. And then that never happened, So I kept bugging this guy, the guitarist Jerome, about it. And life happens, and you get busy, and you get married, and you got other things going on. And I was like, no, man, I can respect that. So I was like, well, I need to put this thrash project together. Then let's change from death metal to thrash. And I decided, well, how do we do it? How do I do something that I've never done before? Let's keep pushing the envelope. I've written a record about mental health on third person. I've written a record about traditional hardcore and love for hardcore. And then how about I do a record? What a movie have I been watching? How about I do a record about The Thing, which is one of my favorite movies in the whole universe.
Bro, what the hell?
And let's fucking make it even crazier, dude. Since we did The Will to Live as a concept album, let's do this shit as a concept album. And I don't want it to be about anything else. I want it to be from the fucking beginning that you see the fucking alien ship approaching Earth until the fucking last scene, until the closing of the movie. And so we wrote.
I need this in my life.
I was like, so who do we fucking? I mean, I try to do it with Reese, but Reese, it's like, yo, man, I'm a fucking hardcore kid that I can try to do this to get you going, but I kept asking him to change things, and he was like, man, I think you need a different player, bro.
For on what, a guitar?
Yeah, man. I think you need a different player to write this for. So, I actually hit up Jacob from Bitter End,
Oh yeah, dude. Let's go.
To try to put some leads on it. And fuck, man, he grabbed those songs that Reese did and reworked them like it's basically like into thrash songs. And
That's
it just,
amazing.
no, dude, it sounds like late 80s Sepultura with like a 20-year-old Max Cavalera singing.
Dude, there's gonna be a lot of people like that.
And so it's it starts with that arrival with the ship coming in, the dog chasing. I try to pick all my favorite scenes from the movie, Doc flipping out and fucking up the helicopter, the blood test, all that shit is in that movie. Yeah, it's in
Dude, the blood test is the best part.
all that stuff's in the record, and it's like the way he wrote it was so badass, dude, because it like the cadence of the songs and what I've been able to do in the lyrics, it starts off in a particular way, and then you could see it like kind of as the paranoia sits in, and as all that, how it becomes a more gloomy record. And I'm telling you, dude, I think people are gonna flip out when they hear it.
Well, the record like that, there's a lot of ways to approach it. There's a lot of things like you've already got the story written, so now all you got to do is figure out like how it is you want to tell that story. And if you're going with thrash, dude, there's all kinds of ways you can do that. I'm pretty excited to hear this, dude. Is it already written, or are you in the process of writing it still?
This shit's been done since it's been like demoed and done and recorded as demos since New Year's. Since New Year's Day.
Dang, okay.
So, well, then the challenge was, okay, so, like, is this going to be just a studio album and it's just me and Jacob go in and bang it out and we're done? Or is this something I'd like to play live? And fuck it, dude, I want to play this shit live. It's fucking, it's grooving, dude. So
I knew you were going to say that,
so I
dude.
talked to, was it too dumb to quit, too old to do any better, or whatever.
Bro,
whatever the saying is, dude. Whatever it is, it all applies. But
if you're writing music though, man, that stuff's in your blood, Rob. Like if you're writing this stuff, I would be shocked if you put out an album and you were like, but I don't ever want to play this live. I would be flabbergasted by that.
It's so like groovy, dude. It's like he tailor made that shit the way I like it. So I hooked, the person that showed me the thing was Caleb Butler. It was the first person that let me borrow that DVD.
Caleb?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, what's up, Caleb, bro? Man, Caleb's awesome.
Dude, I told him, let's do a fucking album based on the thing. He fucking loved it. And then it's like, so who do we get to play drums? And then another dude that fucking loves the thing that had made himself available at a show. He's like, hey, man, I'm fucking really putting in work on my drums. And, if you got any projects, let me know. James Reniерson. He drummed for That Young. He drummed for Crusher. So he's got.
You remember Everybody Freeze, bro?
Yeah.
Me and James, Jacob, and I think Parrot was playing bass for us.
You think so?
Bro, that was a long time ago. We were terrible. I was terrible. They were good. What?
No, I said many moons ago, man.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So, like we kind of had on standstill for a long time because, Jacob's in Ohio. Jacob doesn't live in Texas.
Oh, really?
So he would write songs. He would do like program drums, write the guitar.
Okay.
And he would send them to me, and then I would just.
You said Jacob. I thought you meant James. You talking about Jacob from Bitter End?
Yeah.
Got you.
And so I would do like I did everything else, dude. I just do it on.
Yeah.
I do it on GarageBand, dude.
On your phone?
Oh yeah,
dude. That's crazy.
I do all my demos in here, and I just put the music in there, and then I just go and do my layers, and keep fucking them until. That's wild. I'm happy with it, dude, and that's made all the difference in the recordings. I ripped this thing off. If you can tell the vocals sound good, is because I mean, I've taken my sweet ass time to demo and rehearse and demo, and every time you're demoing something or changing something, you're rehearsing. So
Yeah.
so then so he would send me the music and I would put lyrics to it like that. And again, I watched that movie so many fucking times that in matter of fact, I may have to cut some of it because it's like every song has like a fucking like 2 sheets worth of lyrics, so it's like I need to edit this thing.
It's gonna
But
be
I
like an
mean,
hour and a half long album.
no, in demo it sounds badass, dude. But I mean, to do it live is going to be something different. So I need to make sure
Yeah.
that it is that I can maybe it'd be a little more succinct. But no, I love it, dude.
I just
So
showed my son the thing not too long ago. He's 10. He's a fan too.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, so the challenge was finding a local guitarist that knew thrash. Like I don't mean a hardcore dude.
No, like an actual
No,
metal
I
guitarist that
want
can play
somebody.
thrash. So that's a
And
particular kind of musician.
and dude, I mean, there's like a little thrash scene in Houston that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, I didn't know until just now.
And it's some of the bands that play at this place, The End, that venue in Lawndale. Shout
Is
out to
that
John
where
Hale.
John Hale does that place?
Yes, sir. Shout out to him, dude.
Dude,
Shout
I've
out
known
to
him since we
John.
were 5 years old.
John Hill has the End and the Compound. Go to a fucking
Wait,
show over there, dude.
is he the guy that did this?
Oh yeah, that's Grimm's record, right?
This is that comp that I was telling you about. From it was recorded at the end. So
Yeah.
wait a minute, John Hill, is he the dude? You just blew my mind, bro. Like
He's
I've known
the
that
owner.
guy for my entire life. He owns the End.
And
I
the
literally
Compound.
hold on. When we get done here, I'm gonna send you a photograph, dude, of me and him on the day I graduated high school, bro. I've known him since I was 5 years old. What the fuck? Dude, you just blew my mind.
He has changed and this is no slight to all the other venues that are making things happen, and all the booking agents. It's their job that's making this great. But John has given a lot of people a place to come and be community.
Bro, you said his name and it really messed me up, dude. I didn't even know you knew John. That is crazy, dude. I mean, I used to live with that guy. Me and him, I lived with him, and then 2 houses over was Gabe Wells' house in Copperfield. Bro, what is happening right now? That is so. I'm sorry, dude. That's so insane to me.
No, that's cool, dude. No, it's cool. But
that's awesome.
So no. He's done a great thing for the scene, dude. He really has. So, but yeah, man. Fuck, I forgot where we were going when I started mentioning John and the End. But wherever we were,
I mean, we're just talking about the band that you were talking about doing with the.
Oh yeah. So
the album.
So we played
the concept album.
We played the 1-year anniversary for the End, and there's a band that the chick that does sound, Jessica Garcia. I don't know if you remember her, man, but she's been around for a million years too in the scene. She does sound there for those venues, and she had told me I should check out these guys from this band called Nihilist.
Okay.
And the guitarist dude was like, "Yo, man, that project you're talking about sounds great." And so I was like, well, your skill sounds great. Your skill set sounds awesome. So let's go ahead. Just what are you doing, dude? And my boy, little man, just about went to that restroom.
Oh, it's all good. Dude, we're wrapping up here in a few minutes anyways, man. Wow, dude, I can't believe you know John.
So we got that dude, John from that band Nihilist. He's playing guitar now. So now we can have proper rehearsals, and that's what we've been doing. So kind of keep it all on the wraps until we can, we're about 4 songs deep of 8. So once we can rehearse a little more and have the 8 songs down, we're gonna go record, and then we're gonna play for it, man. We're gonna play.
Well, if you need 31 Records help with anything, let me know. I don't know what you could, if you want tapes or CDs or something made, let me know.
For sure, man. Hey,
I'm always down to help you. You know that.
We may even talk about that for some of the other.
Whatever, whenever, man. I'm down to help you anytime you need it, man. You know that. Anytime you need it, you let me know. I'm a lot more responsible with my money these days, so I got the funds to put out records pretty much anytime now.
Right on, brother. Well, man, Randy, I thank you for the chance to
absolutely, dude,
together and talk. And I mean, I wish it would have been a little more organized on my end. You know, like
bro,
I wanted to talk about, but
we can always do another one of these anytime you want to, man. You get a slate of things you want to talk about together. You let me know. We'll make it happen, bro. That's what this is. It's just a community hangout, man. We're just chilling. The people that watch my channel get to know the musicians, especially people that I'm friends with and that I care about. So, no, dude, I appreciate your time and I appreciate all the effort you put into all your music, and I appreciate you still being friends with me after all the mistakes I made in my 20s, dude. I mean, a lot of people wrote me off, bro. So, you know.
You know what, man? We all do things, and there's dudes that we know that are still, you know, doing things, and some are trying to, get clean. And I mean, what friend are you if you just turn your back, you know?
Dude, 100%. I try to, yeah. I've made a life for myself now, and I'm trying to give back to the community if I can, you know. Put out records and interview bands and promote music, and this is what I'm better at anyway. So this is where
I think you have the personality for it, man. And if you have the
appreciate that
and the care and the passion for it, man, I want to see you be successful at it. And any way that I can contribute, if it's within my means, you can count on it, man.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we'll keep in touch. And like I said, you need some help with any kind of like record releases of stuff, let me know. And if not before then, I will see you in October because I'm going to be at that show. I think it's at the end, isn't it? October 12th?
It is at the end. And
go.
John is guaranteed. I'm sure he'll be there, dude.
I would love to see him, dude. The last time I saw him was before Hurricane Harvey. I took him some clothes. He was going up to do, I believe it was when they were protesting the fracking up in like Nebraska or North Dakota or something. And he was going up there to take some stuff. He made a post like, if anybody has any extra clothing or bedding or something. I might be wrong about where he was going and why, but he was asking for clothing, and I hit him up randomly. I said, I haven't seen you in a long time, man, but if you need some stuff, I got some stuff. And he was like, bro, what? And I drove over to his house, and I mean, I'm telling you, I've known that guy my entire life, man. It's really crazy that's the guy that owns this place.
You're gonna flip out, dude, when you see what he's done, and
I'm excited.
You're also gonna flip out when you go to the compound, which is the new one that he opened recently.
Okay.
He's got a huge fucking mural of the thing.
Dude, that's so crazy, man. Yeah, I used to live with that fool. Now I'm gonna see if I can get his ass to do the podcast. We'd have some stories, bro. He used to for anybody that's watching this that is in Houston and knows 94.5 The Buzz, there's a DJ on 94.5 The Buzz. It's my brother Jeremy. When we were little kids, John Hale came running outside we used to live across a park from each other, but it was like a small park where you could see our houses. And he came outside when Jeremy was riding his bicycle, and he got up on the fence and shot my brother in the leg with a BB gun, and my mom took it from him. Like, bro, we were little scoundrels, dude.
Well, dude, I'm sure he has a lot of stories to tell you, man, and he's doing a great thing for the community, I feel. And
dude, that's awesome, man. I'm happy for him.
Kids that could otherwise be doing God knows what and getting whatever
stupid shit.
Trouble. They're going to the end to watch shows and mosh and get their aggression out, man. So
that's amazing, dude. I knew he was in the scene somehow still. I didn't know if he was even still in Houston. I thought maybe he had been into Austin or LA by now, but that's awesome that he's still down here.
Right on, man. Well, Randy, man, thank you so much, bro. I really
absolutely
appreciate the time, man.
Hell yeah, brother, man. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Take care, man.
All right. Peace.
Peace out, bro.